This week, a little boy struck in a hit and run. Plus, a massive gun bust in Queens.
The NYPD is watching, and there is no limit to the span of our investigation.
And a grieving wife and mother shares her story.
I don't even know I'm gonna lay down in a bed without my husband.
Right now, Fox 5's Crime in the City. Here are the crimes across the 5 boroughs. We begin this week in Brooklyn, where a 9-year-old is struck by a food delivery driver in Williamsburg.
Police are looking for an Uber Eats driver that they say is responsible for a hit-and-run crash involving a 9-year-old boy last night in Williamsburg. The delivery driver, who was on a scooter, left behind an important piece of evidence. Michelle Ross is live for us in Williamsburg with where it all happened. Michelle.
Chris, that delivery driver left behind the food order with the customer's name on it. So police have a leg up in linking that driver with the order. Now, that order was dropped in the middle of the street. You can see here it's a green paper bag and a pizza box. It's from Green and Ackerman's Pizza Shop nearby. Police say this happened in front of 61 Harrison Avenue at around 5:30 last night. The 9-year-old boy is expected to be okay. Now, that collision was caught on someone's dash cam. Police say the child just got off the school bus when he was struck by a delivery courier on a 2-wheeled vehicle. There is a crossing guard here now who leaves at 4:30 every day, but this incident happened at 5:30. Now, in a statement, Uber Eats tells Fox 5 the reported details are reprehensible and our thoughts are with the young boy and his family as he recovers. Now, the company also says that they have a team of former law enforcement officials that works with police 24/7, so they are currently assisting police in this investigation. Again, that 9-year-old boy is expected to be okay. He was taken to Bellevue Hospital. He is now in stable condition.
Moving to Manhattan, gunshots ring out in a crowded subway station in Midtown.
A person's in custody after gunfire erupts inside a Midtown subway station.
Police say the shooter opened fire after he saw a man trying to rob a woman.
Fox 5's Arthur Chen live outside the 49th Street station where this all unfolded. Arthur.
Steve, Natasha, there's a lot to unpack here, especially with respect to the motivation of this shooting. But it was at this subway station. We're on the northbound side of the NRW station at 49th Street and 7th Avenue. And at 9:15 last night, somebody was standing at the turnstile, letting people in for free when he decided to try to rob a woman by ripping off her purse. Now let's show you the individual who then came into the picture. This individual then opened fire, appearing to just wanting to disrupt that robbery. That individual is in custody tonight, and the New York City Transit president was here to explain how things unfolded.
It was an interaction or argument with the customer. Looks like he attempted to steal her purse. We had another customer decide to pull out a gun and try to intervene.
Sources tell Fox 5 that's when the man in the green T-shirt and shorts calmly reached into his khaki backpack, casually pulling out a gun and firing twice, breaking up the robbery and walking away. Police descended onto the scene, immediately arresting the 49-year-old swiper. And one police source says he's been arrested at least 5 times before.
This gentleman does have some history of swiping in the system. He's known to us. He's been a constant problem. He's been arrested before.
Swipers work in 2 ways. Traditionally, they would stand here, and if you pay them with an unlimited card, they'll swipe you through. There's another way they work, which is to stand on the other side of this gate and let you through if you offer them a tip. A heightened police presence was visible on the same platform Wednesday, which is minutes from Times Square. And the New York City Transit president, Richard Davies, arrived to be walked through firsthand on how the shooting went down. Edwin says he sees swipers all the time, and he's not the only one.
I see them a lot in Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn, so I see it over there in Crown Heights a lot in the train stations.
I would see it more in Bushwick. That's where I would see it in. Mostly Brooklyn now. Like, that's where I had seen it mostly. Atlantic Ave, Pacific Street. See a lot of swipers there.
Now we head to Queens, where cops break up an interstate gun trafficking ring.
Authorities in Queens Monday showing off firearms collected through an undercover sting investigation called Operation Chainline.
All these deadly weapons, they all come from one source. 3 defendants that we now have in custody.
Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz says both her office and the NYPD received tips back in March that illegal guns were being trafficked into New York City from the Midwest by way of the Iron Pipeline.
The detectives witnessed 2 of the defendants coming out of a townhouse in Cincinnati, Ohio, carrying large boxes to a U-Haul truck. The activity corresponded directly with subsequent phone calls about transporting these guns.
Officials say the suspect sold firearms to an undercover officer at a location near Steinway Street and 35th Avenue in Astoria, Queens, at least 5 times between June and August. Then in September, investigators stopped a rented vehicle they tracked from New Jersey to Staten Island before executing a search warrant in which more firearms were recovered. Detectives say the investigation netted 109 illegal firearms and rifles, including 20 assault weapons, 139 high-capacity magazines, and hundreds of rounds of ammunition.
76 9mm, 2 of which are ghost guns, 10 40 calibers, 2 45 calibers, 2 380 calibers, 16 rifles, 3 shotguns.
Officials say the bust comes as shootings are down 34% in Queens County and 28% citywide so far this year. Authorities vowing not to rest on any laurels.
A case of this magnitude sends a message to any would-be gun trafficker that the NYPD is watching and there is no limit to the span of our investigation.
Authorities say the defendants are cousins ranging in age from 27 to 32. They're facing multiple firearms-related charges looking at 25 years if convicted.
Next in East Flatbush, the wife and mother of the victims in a deadly double shooting shares her story.
It's a uniquely Brooklyn love story with an unspeakably tragic ending. Instead of planning for the holidays as their family has done for the last 20 years, Marie DeLille is planning the funerals for her husband and son. She tells me in this exclusive interview that none of it feels real, and she keeps wondering when she'll wake up from this nightmare.
I don't even know how I'm gonna live without these 2 people.
47-year-old Vladimir Maturin worked as a school bus driver and 2 other driving jobs to support his family. His wife, Marie DeLille, was going to nursing school and worked double shifts as a healthcare aide so they could keep their children in parochial schools. She tells me her husband was either at work, the gym, or at home.
He's my friend, my dear friend. He's my family. We've been married for 20 years. 20 years, no fight. No fight. He's not violent.
She showed me a video of a happy family moment where he was telling jokes and making them all laugh. We are not showing her late son Chinwe and 3 other children to protect their privacy. She can't yet bring herself to think of the love of her life in the past tense and doesn't know how she'll go on.
I don't know, Lisa. I don't know. I don't even know how I'm gonna handle it. I don't even know I'm gonna lay down in a bed without my husband. 20 years.
Marie tells me she's barely slept and hardly eaten since the devastating tragedy on October 29th. That's when police say their downstairs neighbor, 47-year-old Jason Pass, opened fire and shot and killed her husband and her 27-year-old son, Chinwe. The suspect was later shot and killed after he lunged at police with a hunting knife. She says he had harassed the family before, but she never thought it would turn deadly.
Before that weekend, he came 2 in the morning. Imagine my husband woke up 4 in the morning. He came 2 in the morning, kicked the door. Nobody said anything.
She says she will never, ever forget the haunting sound of her husband as the bullets tore through his body, taking his life.
I can hear my husband scream when that man gave him the last shot. Yeah. I cannot wish that even I have a worst enemy. I will never ask that for my worst enemy.
Up in the Bronx, police make a massive multi-million-dollar drug bust in the concourse section.
In the Bronx, 11 people arrested accused of running a high-volume fentanyl heroin packaging mill in Concourse Village during a raid of an apartment at 1244 Grand Concourse last week. Authorities say they seized up to 400,000 packages of suspected fentanyl and heroin with an estimated street value of $4 million. That apartment also allegedly had all the equipment necessary for packaging the drugs. The suspects now face several charges, including criminal possession of a controlled substance.
Back in Brooklyn, police are searching for the suspect wanted in a series of subway attacks.
Ladies, listen up. Police are looking for a man they believe is behind 4 recent attacks on women at Brooklyn subway stations. The first happened on October 28th on a southbound R train at the 95th Street station. That's where a woman was punched in the head and the face. Now, that same day, another assault happened on a northbound 3 train at Hoyt Street Station. Then on October 31st, a woman was attacked while waiting on the northbound 2-4 platform in Flatbush. In the most recent incident on November 3rd, a woman was assaulted on a northbound 2 train at the Flatbush Avenue station. If you recognize the suspect on your screen, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers.
And finally, leaving the city, a mom in Newark in handcuffs, accused of stabbing her 5-year-old son.
Tonight, a 5-year-old boy is in the hospital after being stabbed.
The victim's mother is in custody. Fox 5's Kendall Green joins us live in Newark with the details tonight. Kendall.
We're here at the hospital where that 5-year-old is said to be in stable condition after that stabbing. But about 10 minutes from where we are, neighbors are sharing their shock, surprised that it was the 5-year-old's mom behind that stabbing, according to police. A strong police presence surrounding this home on the corner of Murray and Brunswick Streets in Newark.
I don't know what's going on. All I know, cops are.
They got the call about a 5-year-old boy that was stabbed. We saw first responders going in and out of the home, taking pictures, collecting evidence from the second floor of the apartment, carrying out this brown bag with what appears to be the weapon inside.
That's very disturbing, very disturbing.
Philip Valentin says he knows the parents at the apartment, telling us they lived there for about 2 years, and he came out curious if everyone was okay.
For that to happen, it's very weird, very weird.
Telling Fox 5 the child's stabbing comes as a shock.
I see the kid in the backyard when they do like barbecues and stuff. Always, running around and being a kid, that's all.
Though Newark PD took the child's mother into custody following the stabbing, it remains unclear if she'll face any charges. Parents, children, drivers, passing by with all of their eyes on the home at the center of the crime scene as the child recovers in the hospital.
I'm praying for the family, but that is crazy. That shouldn't happen to no child at all for no type of reason. That is crazy. Everybody don't deserve kids. Everybody do not deserve kids. I'm sorry to hear that.
And that's this week's Crime in the City. Subscribe for more at youtube.com/Fox5NY.